Thank you everyone for joining us today for the second community engagement session for the New Spirit River Lodge. My name is Tracy Wells and I'm a project manager at Barry Architecture and Associates.
Good night, everybody. I am Isaac Martinez and I'm an architect at Barry Architecture and Associates.
Behind the camera, we have Tracy Evans, our community engagement coordinator, that will be helping us out as well. Tonight, we're looking forward to getting your input to help us define the social architecture for this project. The agenda for tonight's presentation is Zoom refresher, introduction to today's topic, community input, and wrap up. Before we get going with the event, I'll go over a few logistics. Given that we have challenges of doing a community engagement session remotely, we're going to keep everyone muted and you can use the chat function or use the raise your hand function if you'd like to ask your question out loud. If you're on a desktop computer, the icons will look similar to the image on the left. And if you're on your smartphone or tablet, tap on the three dots and a menu will pop up with the chat and raise hand features. We have planned for an open discussion to gather your input on today's topic. As well, there should be a few minutes at the end to answer any additional questions. Lastly, if you have any technical difficulties during the presentation, we are recording this session and we'll be uploading it to our website within the next 24 hours. That being said, we have moments before the session started this evening discovered that on the Spirit River website, it has now asked for a passcode. So if you receive the invitation via an email link, that link will work. You do not have to have a passcode. Again, we can't fix it at this moment, but just click on that link in the email and you will be okay if you've heard of anybody having any technical issues. Other than that, we'll be recording the session. You guys will have to check it out afterwards. Apologize for that.
And on that note as well, if you have anybody messaging you, letting you know that they're having issues, please feel free to forward that email across to them as well. Because unfortunately, as Tracy said, we cannot fix the passcode problem at the moment, but we will fix it for next week if it arises. So please forward across that invitation.
We thought we had this down. Good old technology. All right, before we get started, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all of the funding partners that you see on your screen who are contributing to this project. Thank you so much. We'd also like to...
At this time, we would like to also give the government of Alberta and the Grand Spirit Foundation representatives an opportunity to provide any opening remarks before we get started with the presentation. So I guess, yeah, Monica?
Thank you, Isaac. My name is Monica Bardwaj. I'm the Director of Capital Delivery with Seniors in Housing with Government of Alberta. First of all, on behalf of the Minister of Seniors in Housing, I want to welcome all the participants for taking time to participate in the community engagement sessions. In our current environment, we are not able to hold in-person sessions, but we are very excited to get lots of good information via these virtual sessions. And this Spirit River project is a very important project for many stakeholders. As Isaac shared, there's lots of stakeholders that have contributed to success of this project. And on the government side, we're really happy to collaborate between the Ministries of Seniors and Housing, Alberta Health, with Grand Spirit Foundation, as well as Alberta Health Services, to really plan and design a facility that supports aging in community. So the facility will have both designated supportive living spaces as well as lodge spaces for seniors. So your input is very important to us, and it's important, especially in this planning phase, so that we can incorporate your input into the design and operational elements of the facility. So once again, I want to thank you for attending. That's all I have, Isaac.
Thank you, Monica. Then I will give the chance for a representative of the Grand Spirit Foundation to give some opening remarks.
Hi there, my name is Alvin Hubert. I'm the Vice Chair of Grand Spirit Foundation and the Region of Saddle Hills County. I also had a hard time getting online today. I actually went back to last week's link and clicked on that one and that got me on.
Aren't you
so
clever?
Anyway, but so good evening. I'd like to thank everyone for being here tonight to show their support for this incredible project and for giving us your insight into shaping our new lodge. I would above all like to thank Alberta Minister of Seniors and Housing, Josephine Pond, and her staff, as well as Alberta Minister of Health, Tyler Shandro, Minister of Finance, Travis Taves, our own MLA, Todd Lowen, and Grand Prairie MLA, Tracy Allard for their tremendous support for this much needed facility. In the beginning, the G5 municipalities of the Central Peace took their vision of this new 92-unit assisted living and lodge facility to the 12-member board of the Grand Spirit Foundation. We would like to thank them for their unanimous support. Our CEO, Steve Madden, at Grand Spirit, and his staff have worked tirelessly. As time went along, one last exciting aspect of the project arose, and that was the addition of 24 self-contained seniors apartments that will be added to the building. Last week's session was very enlightening, and I would like to thank all of you, as well as our seniors at the Pleasant View Lodge, for joining us online as we participate in this important project together. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be part of this evening session and look forward to into tonight's input from our community. Once again, thank you to everyone. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Isaac.
Thank you very much, Alvin. Okay, right on. So again, we're gonna get started. Once again, we just want to remind that to gather all the information required to create some architectural concepts and understand the program requirements, we need your input to understand the social architecture. Starting with a series of questions, of course. During last week's session, we asked questions related to which indoor and outdoor common amenities should be considered for the new lodge. And tonight, we'll be looking for your answers to questions related to neighborhoods and the resident suites.
There are 4 design principles that will help us through the design process and into the construction of the facility to ensure we're delivering what the community needs and wants. First one is functional independence. The built environment supports individuals' remaining abilities with dignity and respect. Engagement. Indoor environments create opportunities for meaningful activities and fosters relationships. Health and safety. Interior design elements and furnishings are responsive to the aging body and minimize risks. Quality of life. The built environment will foster socialization, environmental well-being, and a sense of self, and supports lifelong interests.
So design for senior living has changed a lot over the last decade. As we understand more about the aging body, mental health, and different care models, the way we design and talk about senior living has changed as well. So we're trying to change the perception of long-term care facilities and assisted living from being institutional and hospital-like to small homes where intentional communities are developed and high levels of care are offered. So an interesting shift we are seeing is moving away from the old terms like pods, wings, and clusters to talk about a grouping of resident suites to using the term neighborhoods. So while some peace lives in pods, people live in neighborhoods. So these terms really aligns with a person-centered care model. Another term we're moving away from is home-like. While this term has good intentions, the physical space is not meant to be home-like, but actually to be home.
Now that we've completed the background information, we'll start our interactive part of the session. As a refresher, we're going to keep everyone muted, and you can use the chat function or use the raise your hand function if you'd like to ask your question out loud. If you're on a desktop computer, the icons will look similar to the image on the left. And if you're on your smartphone or tablet, tap the 3 dots and a menu will pop up with the chat and raise hand features. For each question, we'll give you about a minute or 2 to type in your first thoughts, and then we'll open up the mics to anyone who'd like to speak out loud. Don't be shy. The plan is to spend about 3 or 4 minutes on each question.
Okay, so we want to start with this question. And the question is, what does home mean to you? We want to get that first question as soon as we start to understand what does a home mean to you. Again, just take a couple minutes and then just give you your first thoughts about this question. What is in a home that you think should be included? with that, just tell us some characteristics that you feel like have of your home, right? Some things that family, yeah, anything related to that.
So first two comments in here, family, comfort, security, fun, personal choices as much as possible. Home is a place that is a save, a place to meet with friends.
Right, yeah. What other thoughts are there as you think about your home? What's a home for you?
Warm, welcoming.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about the senses? Think about senses when you think about home in terms of like a smell, what you hear, what you see.
I'm smiling because every time I go home, I walk into my mom's house and she's always cooking something awesome. So it's either cookies or lasagna or something that she's got on the go.
The want to be there, personal items and pictures. Chocolate chip cookies. I agree.
Great. Any other thoughts about home?
Comfortable, and you're right, a pleasing smell, not institutional. Personal space, bright and inviting. Welcoming information on the outside door or in a small wall opening for pictures.
Yeah, some personal items, right? Yeah, home has to show.
I wonder if it's your internet, but mine's working now with that new link. But I don't know why it wasn't.
Carrie, I see that you've got your mic unmuted. Did you want to speak out loud or? Oh, maybe not.
I think he's helping out with some technical difficulties there.
It's A-okay.
Any other comments about this question?
We need an indoor smoking area that's also well ventilated. That's from the Pleasant View Lodge.
Great. Okay.
Oh, and closets with doors.
Okay, well, maybe you have another minute to hear any other thoughts about this, and then we'll move to the next one.
Plants here. We have a lot of immigrant people working here, and being a small community, there's not a lot of money for everyone, and people are using the library resources for schooling, for university students who use the computers and the printers, and as well for elementary and high school students. So they're all missing that, and may not have the resources to buy their own computers and printers and things. So it just seems kind of logical if you can sit with your family in a restaurant that you could go to the library, 2 or 3 people, or, you know.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your thoughts on this question. So moving to the next one. Next slide.
So there are endless ways to arrange neighborhoods and the overall building shape. Significant factors that determine neighborhood configurations are the constraints of the site and project budget. The more we understand your spatial relationships, the better we can design your new facility. The plan shows a typical double-loaded corridor, which means that suites are on both sides of the hallway. These lodges typically have a central and large shared common space, like dining rooms and large activity rooms. This type of configuration also stacks well for multi-story applications. A neighborhood configuration also provides a lodge with opportunities to be isolated from the rest of the building in the event of a flu outbreak. Each neighborhood has the ability to be self-sufficient for the staff and residents within each neighborhood during a period of isolation. We're also able to create a connection to the outdoors. By reconfiguring some of the suites to provide a common living room, we can create an outdoor connection through windows and an outdoor patio space.
So our next question is, how can we make each neighborhood unique and distinguishable for the residents?
Name the hallways after streets or local roads.
Well, that's a great idea. Yeah.
I don't think that's ever come up before. I really like that idea, actually.
Yeah, think about unique themes for these different neighborhoods for the residents, right? In terms of maybe themes, as you said, colors.
Different colors for the different wings or halls, yeah.
Like we find, you know, the way to know where we are within the facility is important. So creating streets, creating destinations, maybe having different colors, as you guys said, is a good way to differentiate and make each of the neighborhood different. And also will make it easier for residents, right, to know where they're from or where is their neighborhood, right?
And even to tell your friends or family, oh, I'm in the Green Wing, or I'm on Elm Way, or whichever.
Find what the residents in the neighborhood have in common and use that as a theme. Allow residents of a neighborhood to have some of their favorite pictures be displayed on the communal walls.
Okay, yeah.
Different plants.
Yeah, we can do that with some maybe plants, with some.
Use historical photos in the various neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's a great idea to get some photos, also get a good sense of wayfinding within the facility. Which other thoughts you will have? Just in you know, think about the colors as we say. Maybe there's some art, right? Maybe there's some installation, something that will make each of the neighborhood unique.
Memento boxes outside of each room.
Yeah, that's great to make each of these different spaces or rooms within the neighborhood to be unique as well. And any other thoughts about how we can make this neighborhood unique within the facility? So those images that you can see right now on the screen as well, right, give us some ideas of how maybe some of these features that some of the neighborhoods may have in terms of colors, maybe some amenities, maybe, as you guys said, the use of some different even finishes as well, but it could be.
A distinguishable entrance for each neighborhood or different types of flooring.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, maybe an entrance, right? A welcoming entrance to each neighborhood, something to welcome you, that you know that you are like an arrival sense of a new place. Excellent. Okay, well, thank you.
Oh, one last one. Sorry. They will be because of the people who live in each neighborhood. So they will be unique and distinguishable because of who's there.
That's right.
Okay, so our next question is, what amenities or features should be included in the neighborhoods? We've got a little bit of a list here. I don't want to give them all away, but one idea might be a kitchen. We've mentioned a living room, What are some other amenities or features would you like to see in your neighborhood?
And again, just think of those activities you like to do at home, right? What makes it a home for you, as you're thinking about some of these amenities or features that a neighborhood should have?
Going back, I think just one more comment from the last question. Oilers fans versus the Flames. It's a great way to distinguish a neighborhood. Features for the features or amenities to be included, though, we've got a counter space in the kitchen area that allows for residents to participate in meal prep. Coffee area, puzzle room, smoking room. An area where residents could do some cooking on their own, or where someone could come in and do different recipes for them to try.
I really like the idea of that interactive kitchen and that connection to the community, or that potential connection to the community.
A private visiting area, a place to play games, a library, a place to play or listen to music, fireplaces, community gardens, bird feeders.
Yeah, it's important, I think, to create some of those spaces, even some of other areas, right, that could be secure, that kind of belong to that neighborhood. So some of those gardens, bird feeders are nice features that could be included and adjacent into one of these neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm. I think it goes without saying you probably would like to have close access to elevators and stairwells so you can get around the building in an easier fashion.
A china cabinet to allow residents to display and then hopefully use their dinnerware.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, and I guess just another key there, just thinking where this neighborhood should be located, right? Close to which areas, adjacent to maybe other neighborhoods, or we want to separate them. What do you guys think?
Big windows for natural light, good lighting, short hallways, a hobby space.
Well, those are all great.
Adequate parking for motorhomes or RVs for visiting family and friends.
Okay.
Windows in the common areas that also open.
Yeah, that's nice. I think we need to keep in mind that we want to bring some natural light to these neighborhoods as well, right? And create areas for maybe a little reading nook, or areas for sitting, as you guys mentioned before, that are close to a nice visual connection with the outdoors.
Laundry is one. Woodworking, a leatherworking shop, storage space for craft and hobby materials.
Great. We have another minute just to hear a couple other thoughts in terms of the neighborhoods, what you guys think are important features to consider within them.
Adequate storage for home care. Fenced outside space, like a seating space. And then also easy access to outdoor yard space for the neighborhoods.
Sure.
Great, yeah. Yeah, those are good thoughts in that sense. And I like that, yeah, we need to also consider the storage areas within each neighborhood as well. I think that's important. Okay, great. Great feedback so far. So our next question is related about some of the operations of the neighborhoods, right? And would be, what features and amenities would make the staff's daily procedures more efficient in relationship to the neighborhoods and their layout? So I don't know if anybody from the existing lodge staff that could maybe give us some thoughts, but what can we do on including these neighborhoods to make it the operations more efficient?
Shelves, counter space, storage in the resident rooms. A place to play floor hockey, curling.
So yeah, we heard some storage.
Large bathrooms with no doors and a drive-in shower.
Okay. Thinking about maybe how big those neighborhoods should be. You know, how many suites should be in these neighborhoods? Do we want to be, you know, what size do you think should be? How many people should be on these neighborhoods in terms of the number of suites? Any thoughts?
A place for outdoor storage for the residents as well. And answer to how many suites per neighborhood, Isaac, about 10.
Yeah, that's what we hear before. Yeah, that's a good number. That's a nice number and balance for each neighborhood. What about areas for, you know, how much time do the, you know, people that are looking after these neighborhoods spend at their desk for paperwork? What other amenities would be great? Do you know, do we need some special places for keeping medications? What other things you guys think we should be including? Okay. Yeah, thank you for your comments.
Oh, one more comment, or two more, sorry. Large laundry areas, a medication room for the facility,
Okay.
an in-room medication, but a central nursing desk, bigger home care office with a lunch space.
Okay, great. Thank you for your feedback on that. What is currently working well in the existing resident suites of Pleasant View Lodge? What can be improved in the existing resident suites? If you currently live in one of these suites, can you share a bit about your experience?
One more quick comment as everybody's kind of thinking about this question. In response to the last question, if possible, a central desk for someone to direct visitors.
Great.
And resident laundries for residents to do their own laundry.
So yeah, we're looking for some elements that are working well in the existing resident suites and what can be improved perhaps.
So you see now we're now asking a little questions and not about the neighborhoods. You know, we're now looking into actual one of the resident suites. So we're going to the resident suites and want to know if there's anything that you guys think that there would be a good something that is in the existing lodge that could be improved or that is working well. Unless maybe there's not much.
They need larger closets with more storage. So it's an improvement.
Okay, yeah. So improving the storage space.
Are there going to be any couple rooms?
Yeah, I think yeah. As we look at the different layouts, we will consider having some maybe couple rooms or adjoining rooms as well, right? There's something that we've done before is having adjoining rooms that you can connect together. Oh yes.
Larger doorways for wheelchairs than what's already in Pleasant View Lodge.
Definitely, yeah. Having enough circulation for wheelchairs, right? Making sure that, you know, around the beds to access the resident washroom, circulation, you know, within the suite is really important to allow for wheelchair access and make it, yeah, and be very free.
The ability to have beds located in different locations of the room, i.e. near a window or away from the window.
Okay, be able, yeah,
Internet.
better internet.
Wider hallways for EMS. Fiber optic TVs. Improved nurse call system.
Yeah, that's definitely important to have a good system. Anything else in the existing lodge that should be improved or that you guys think is a good feature?
Larger tub rooms.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, we'll leave another minute and then we'll move to the next question.
Walk-in showers for the resident rooms.
Great. So if we move to the next question, it's just more kind of expanded to what already you guys start suggesting about what are good, what are important features and or characteristics of the new suites that should be considered. So if we just keep with this conversation and just look at those images as well that we're kind of presenting here, like what do you think are features that are important to consider is these new suites similar to some of the thoughts you guys already given to us? Think about privacy as well, right?
Couple first comments coming in to exactly the same, more square footage.
Yeah, some decent square footage for sure is important to allow for circulation, as we said, for furniture.
Rooms that are soundproof. Lower windows that you can see out of while you're seated.
Yeah, that's a great comment, definitely. Making sure windows are low enough so you can actually be able to see outside while you're sitting or even while you're in that bed, right? Even you're in your bed that you can actually be able to see outside.
Good Wi-Fi.
Definitely.
Lower closet rods for wheelchairs.
Perhaps even adjustable ones.
Again, soundproof.
Yeah, good sound insulation. That's definitely important. What about the location of the washroom? Where you guys think that washroom should be located?
Close to the bed for the washroom comment.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
right behind the door to the hallway. And that is with a big exclamation point.
Okay. Yeah, it's important that the washroom located in a place where it's private, but also AC accessible from the bed. And talking about the bed, what about the orientation of the bed? Where should be the best location for the bed within the room?
Private bathrooms on all levels.
So yeah, private bathrooms. Yeah, each suite should have its own private bathroom, definitely. Nice windows, lower windows.
Good access to the bathroom in case of nurse call or needing home care.
We have a comment there that might not think of, but I think is a great idea, is the different levels of lighting. So daytime lighting, reading lighting, or nighttime lighting. So when you're in your bed and you swing your feet over to head to the washroom, maybe a light comes on automatically. Perhaps that would be a feature that could be an option.
I think lighting is really important, as you mentioned, Tracy. I think making sure that you have some night lighting, that's important to have adequate lighting within these suites.
The orientation of the bed should be in a space where you can get around on all three sides. And as well, privacy on the windows so the outside can't see in.
As well, yes. What about an access to an outdoor space? Also, also thinking about a kitchenette. What do you guys think about that?
Residents would like the option to set up their own rooms.
Okay, yeah.
And yes, a kitchenette is a must. Places for a small fridge and microwaves.
Okay, yeah. You know, the room is a really important space, right? It has to be functional. It has to have enough circulation, as everybody mentioned. It had to feel private.
Cupboards for glassware.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, those are really good suggestions and good feedback in terms of what are the important features of the resident suites.
Okay, so now that we have finished talking about the new lodge, we're now going to move into a couple of questions on the future of the existing Pleasant View Lodge. So we're going to have a poll. Tracy will bring that up in a moment. It says, and you just click on which one is most important to you. So the question is it important for the existing Pleasant View Lodge to be reused in some way?
Just before I launch that, just one last quick comment from the last question was the ability to mount flat screen TVs on the wall.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, we need to have a flat area for a TV.
So you should see that poll now on your screen. So just go ahead and put your votes in. So we've got about 60% of the votes in already, so we'll give it still another minute or so, but very quick to respond on this one, which is good.
I have a feeling I know what what the answer is going to be, but you never know.
Up to about 70%, so we're almost there. I'll give you guys the last couple seconds. There was a couple more just popping in there.
Great.
All right, so we got about 75% of the votes in. So I'll just quickly share those with everyone. But 65% of our votes said yes. We had 13% who said no, and 22% that are kind of neutral. But the majority there is for some sort of a reuse in some way.
Great. So I guess, yeah, as we can see, yeah, if the majority will see the facility be used, be reused in some way. And we really want to spend a few minutes, right? Just having a little bit of a conversation, and we want to hear a lot of the thoughts and maybe ideas. And please feel free to speak out and have a little bit of a discussion about, yeah, what could the existing facility be used for once the seniors have moved into the new lodge. We want to hear, right, from you guys living in Spirit River. We want to know what you guys think is needed in maybe, yeah, that could be used for a good use for this existing building. So give it a thought, and please give us some of your ideas, and we want to hear some.
Daycare, maybe.
A daycare, okay.
Low-income housing. Seniors apartments, another low-income housing if possible.
Okay.
Housing for lodge staff. Temporary housing.
Okay. So far some sort of housing in terms for
Mental health or housing for home care staff.
okay.
A woman or a men's shelter. Emergency housing.
Great.
These are all great ideas.
A community center that could help to encourage intergenerational activities.
Yeah, community center. I think that could be a good place. Yeah, you know, to bring the community to use the building as well. Any other type of use you guys think would be good for the existing facility? Because I guess it does sense, right? The women's shelter.
Women's shelter or Odyssey House. Happy hour or Mary Pioneer Space.
Would somebody would like to expand a little bit? What's the Mary Pioneer Space or happy hour?
To me, it sounds like just a good time, a good place to go to have a good time.
Possibly a seniors recreation facility.
Okay.
Happy hour or Mary Pioneer Space. Those are, I guess, seniors groups in the area.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Dances for seniors.
Perhaps it could be a multi-purpose space, right? As well, you know, there's already a lot of mention of different activities. One, it would be housing that is pretty specific, but if there's more like a community space, maybe there's can be a different type of activities that could happen within the existing facility potentially.
Meeting room area.
So meeting spaces as well, yeah. Well, so I guess those are quite a few options that we heard. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities that could happen. I guess housing is one that we just saw quite a bit, and maybe some sort of type of community space, right, or senior space for different groups to use for potentially as well.
An addiction treatment center. And youth groups.
Youth group, okay. Any other thoughts?
Bible camp.
A Bible camp.
Or seniors outreach center.
Okay, great.
Kids club.
A kids club. Yeah, and I guess depending on the configuration, right? There may be different rooms that could allow for some of those programs to happen at the same time as well, right? Potentially some of those programs could be at the same time. Okay, any other thoughts before we wrap up here with some of these options for the existing facility? Okay, great.
Okay, so that being said, this wraps up the engagement for this evening. We encourage everyone to join us next week on February 11th for our final summary session, where we will be reviewing all of the input that we've gathered from the past 2 weeks. Is there any other closing remarks? Spirit River? Anyone from the government want to say anything or add anything else?
I just wanted to thank everyone. I think we had another very, very good session, lots of good ideas. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and thank you, Barry, Architecture, and Isaac, you and your team. Thank you for running the session.
Thank you,
Monica.
So this presentation will be uploaded on the project website within the next 24 hours, and the questions asked from this evening will be available through an online questionnaire, which will be open from Friday until about Monday at noon. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for the great feedback. We look forward to see you guys next week for the summarization.
Lots of thank yous coming in, so
Wonderful.
thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.